All right, guys, so it's day 4, the beginning of day 4, and I decided to come down here, have a look at the bottom of this Mustang, find out if there's anything going on with that fuel pump, because that was my suspicion, because it's all pretty close to the exhaust. So I'm literally just laying underneath the car right now, so let me show you what I'm seeing with this pump. All right, so there's our little MSD dude. So the power wire, which is like, see if I can get my finger in there. This little dude, this thing just has kind of a slip-on connection, which is real sketchy, so it wasn't fully on, so I did push it down a little bit. See, hopefully that helps. Also, here's the ground. Now, there's no issue with the ground on the actual pump, but this ground here where this screw is going into the mount, that's pretty loose. So I did just grab a screwdriver, and I'm going to attempt to tighten that down. And I'm hoping that's all that our issue was, is either was that ground from coming a little bit loose or that power coming loose, probably more likely the power. Yeah, I'm hoping that's our only issue. So I'm gonna tighten this up, then I'm gonna go to the front of the car, pop the hood, and see if there's any issues there. So I'm just going around the engine bay, just looking to see if there's anything obvious that maybe became loose or has been burned, anything like that. I know, for example, this little connector down here, oops, see if we can focus, but like this thing just slides together. There's no actual kind of clip anymore holding it, but that thing's still together solid, no issues. So I don't see anything else really obvious. I'm thinking our issue with that shutoff was that pump, because the car didn't even like, you know, isn't like it struggled like it was running out of gas. It just shut off right now, but we still had power to the car. So I'm thinking that pump just shut right off for a second. And so I think it was either that intermittent from the power side or an intermittent issue with that ground side. I'm hoping that's all it is, because that's a pretty easy fix. So, you know, if we ended up having more trouble or something, should be pretty easy to get under there and fix it again. So hopefully we'll be good. We got about 4.5 hours today to get back to Michigan as a straight drive. But of course, we're going to make a bunch of stops. So our plan is to try to get on the road around 9 o'clock in about an hour from now. And, you know, hopefully, even with some stops, maybe we'll be home by like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock at the latest. I'm hoping 4, that way we beat a lot of the rush hour. So hopefully it's not an eventful day and it's smooth and we just get home. And that'll be an awesome way to end our first hot rod power tour. So let's see what happens. All right, so we just left the hotel and so far so good. She fired right up, she's running good. So hopefully the little fixes I did on the that fuel pump, you know, wiring, hopefully it lasts, right? So we'll see. So we got about 4 hours, 36 minutes, 286 miles without any stops. So probably going to be probably easily 300 miles with some stops today. So 300 miles in a 65 Mustang in one day. So wish us luck. This is going to be our longest day. So man, if we make it, this is going to be just pretty awesome, especially as far as this car's come. 8 weeks ago when I picked this thing up, I mean, you couldn't even drive this thing down the road. Tires were rubbing. Just so many kind of horrible little fixes and stuff that we had to do to get this thing to where it is today. So super excited. So if it can make it through this, then by the time next year comes along, it should be no problem to make the whole tour. All right, we are stuck in a little bit of a rush hour. I don't know if we got an accident or what, but we got about a 10-minute delay. So yeah, at least it's not super hot out though. So let's see, we got about 238 miles left. So we made it about 45 minutes so far. We hit some traffic like I was telling you guys. So just a good time to make a quick video. So far the car's running fine. No issues. Just running 70, 75 down the road, no problem. The traffic's been pretty good up until now, so I can't complain. The weather's good. It's overcast, not too hot, so it's fantastic. So we'll probably drive another, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes and then probably get some gas and then get back to it. Get some candy, right, girls?
Yeah.
All right.
We always have to.
I know.
Yeah.
We're just having some, the engine shutting off on the expressway a few times, so we pulled over, got off, and literally right as we pulled right here into the gas station, the car just shut off and then it wouldn't restart. So the gauge is showing about a quarter tank. So I'm wondering if in reality it's probably empty. So we might have just ran out of gas. So we're gonna fill it up, see if that fixes it. Otherwise, I'm thinking there's something up with this fuel pump. Either that little clip came off again, I'll have to push it down, or we'll see. We still got about 200 and something miles, 220 miles, 230. So maybe we'll be towing this thing back, but we'll see. All right, so I just got done doing filling the car up with some gas. I did crawl underneath it and look at that fuel pump. The positive is fine.
Oh, it just died again.
Oh, and it just died again. So I was gonna say it started right up, so I was thinking maybe it was just the fuel, but I think it's the ground, where I tightened up the ground, but it seems like that wire is still not quite too tight. They basically got a zip screw shot into the body, and so it's kind of like a stripped out zip screw. You can't get it perfectly tight. So yeah, we're gonna have to check this out, see if maybe we can move that ground somewhere else. Man, so we are still stuck at this gas station. I tried to move the ground wire to see if I could put it in a different screw hole. That's not long enough to reach. I don't really have any, I didn't bring a lot of my electrical stuff to be able to make new stuff. So that sucks. I did get a self-tapper that I pulled out of the bottom of the car for some exhaust stuff, but I don't have a drill to actually screw the self-tapper in, otherwise that would work. So yeah, so we might just, I got it all back together. I might just try to start it real quick and see if we can just drive somewhere to a hardware store and get some tools. All right, so we ended up having an awesome guy actually help us out who had a bunch of tools over here, and he gave us the drill. I tried to drill this zip screw in to help the ground issue. It didn't work, so it seems like maybe there's not a ground issue. Maybe the pump went bad, the MSD pump, or we've got some other issue, like maybe a clogged fuel filter, which I'm highly suspecting because that fuel filter looks pretty old. So anyway, we were gonna have Haggerty come tow the car. I already called the local repair facility down the road, and they said they can try to get us in real quick and see if they can fix the issue. So hopefully they can get it in and either throw a new fuel pump, inline pump on, or a new filter, and get us back on the road. And hopefully we still make it home by tonight. I mean, even if it's 9 o'clock, as long as we can make it, that'll be awesome. So it's a bummer that we made it so close. We're only about 200 miles away, or 220. But anyway, at least we made it through the actual power tour and got to have a bunch of fun.
So my dad was talking about that. So we're gonna go on McDonald's, eat, and then we're gonna see if he's here, so he can take us on a drive to fix our thing. So that should be good. So we'll catch you up in the next stop.
So we already went, grabbed some McDonald's, came back out. Now the girls are just out here doing some car wheels while we're still waiting for Haggerty to get us a tow truck. And I think it's been about an hour. Yeah, so I think I called Haggerty about 10 to 12. And here it is after 1. So I still haven't gotten a text message saying that we're gonna get a tow truck assigned or whatever. So I don't know why it's taking so dang long. I mean, it's Thursday, right? There should be tow trucks all over the place, you would think, but hopefully soon, because I want to try to get home tonight if we can. I got a wedding, friend's wedding tomorrow, so we really need to get back tonight to make this all work. So it's gonna be interesting. All right, so it has been over 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. We are still waiting on the tow truck from Haggerty, and apparently what happened is Haggerty actually took down the wrong address and sent the tow truck driver back to Indianapolis, Love's Truck Stop at Indy, which is where we started from, which is about an hour away. So here we are 2.5 hours in, and we're still waiting probably an hour, it sounds like. I did call the local repair shop, and they're gonna see if they can get us a tow. We'd have to pay for it, 65 bucks or something, but at this point, they can be here in 15 minutes. I'll gladly pay that just to be able to get there and hopefully have them fix it for us and get on the road. So yeah, so now we're just waiting to hear back either from Haggerty or from this guy with the repair facility to find out if they can get us a tow. And yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping it's just the fuel filter. Pop that thing off there and slap a new one on, and hopefully we'll be back on the road. We'll see. All right, so after I don't know, 4 hours of waiting for a tow truck, 4 hours, we finally got Page's Towing. My man right here is here to save the day. Chris, big shout out to him. Thank you, sir. And now we can get over to the shop, and they're only gonna have about maybe an hour, maybe a little over an hour to fix it. So if it's not something simple, we're probably gonna be stranded here tonight. All right, a few more minutes and we should have this baby loaded up over to the automotive shop, and then hopefully it's easy to fix it. Come on, little pony, giddy up. It's just water. Yeah, that's great. It's probably cool. Got a little water action coming out the back. That's better than being inside there. We don't want that. That's good. It has been pouring all day today. Now it's 4,000 degrees and sunny. All right, fellas, we made it to in and out. Now we got to see what is wrong with this bad boy. Get her up on a lift and see what's going on. hopefully we will be in and out. That would be fantastic. All right, so I just talked to the guys at In and Out. They're gonna get the car in hopefully in about 10 minutes or so once it's unloaded. Have a look at it. I gave them a rundown of kind of all of what happened to it, and hopefully it's gonna be something they can fix today. All right, so how do you guys feel about day 4 of the Hot Rod Power Tour 2021? You don't like it? This isn't fun? Yeah, it's not. All right, guys, so we are not getting an injector pulse on the Mustang, and probably the most likely culprit is going to be the distributor. So the guys are going to head out, go get a distributor, pop it in for us, and let's see if that's the issue. Otherwise, they could waste a lot of time trying to back probe wires and see if if it's something with the PCM. But for whatever it is, 80, 100 bucks, we're just going to go grab a distributor, toss it in 5 minutes, see if that's the issue, and then from there we can diagnose more if we need to. But if that fixes it, we'll be on our way. It's already about 5:20, so this place closes at 6 o'clock. So these guys are really going an extra mile trying to hook us up and help us out. The owner, Vince, here is freaking awesome. He's a car guy. He's a Ford guy. He's got a whole bunch of Broncos and a Mustang himself. Well, he's had Mustangs. So he's a really cool guy. So we really appreciate him helping us out and trying to get us home and back to this wedding that we got to get to tomorrow. So I'll update you guys in a few once we get this distributor in, and we'll see what happens from there. All right, so we threw in the new distributor. That didn't help. It's still just crank, no start. And so right now the guys are kind of in a mad rush to try and see if they can diagnose why the injectors aren't getting the negative. Apparently they have positive going through the injector, but the ECM grounds it and it's not getting the ground. So they're trying to figure out if maybe a wire got burned, something like that. So we'll see. It's already it's 2 minutes to 6, so I don't have high hopes that we're gonna make it out of here tonight. So we're probably gonna be looking for a hotel and
yeah, we're gonna go in the pool. If it has a pool, we're gonna jump in that pool.
And yeah, I don't know. Figure out how we're gonna get home tomorrow, right? If the car's done, I don't know. So it's gonna be interesting.
We heard it in the bathroom, and we're like, darn it, because it shut off.
Holy cow, guys! Not even a minute later, I just heard this thing fire up. So we might be going. It is literally like 6:01, and I just heard this car start for a second, then it died. So right now they're still trying to mess with it some more, but holy cow, we might be good. All right, so they got the car running now, but they're not exactly sure kind of why, because all they did was just cleared some codes out and fired up, and it's running good. So the worry now is that we might be driving home and it happens again and dies. So I don't know, we're gonna give it a few more minutes and see, and then we'll have to make a call whether we wanna risk it for the biscuit and try to drive home and get stuck somewhere else, or we maybe leave it overnight and let them mess with it in the morning. So I don't know, I'm gonna talk to these guys in a few, but at least it's good to hear it firing again. That's good.
Yes, we love it.
Yeah. All right, fellas, check it out. Woo, boy! So all it ended up being was the throttle was actually stuck wide open, and so the car was given the TPS code because it thought it was in basically clear flood mode, like if you push the throttle down. So after all that, those guys were able to figure it out, and they cleared the codes, and then boom, the car started right up, and now it's running great. So now we know the issue. If this happens again, I could just fix the throttle and clear the codes, and we should be good to go. So now we're gonna make our trip home. We got 3.5 hours at 6:18, so at best we'll be home by maybe 10 o'clock. And we're gonna have to drive through the dark, so that's gonna be interesting with these old ass headlights. So let's get to it, boys. Woo woo! All right, guys. So here's what I think happened with the car. Earlier today, when we were on the expressway, we started to get the stumbling issue. I think we did have a fuel pump problem, and so when we got to the gas station, and we were trying to do some fixes, we tried to start it a few times. I was pumping the throttle a few of those times. I think one of those times I did throttle it, and it must have got stuck wide open. After that, we did fix it with the new ground for the fuel pump, but then when I went to go restart it or retry it, it was too late, and I already had the thing wide open throttle. That was keeping the fuel injectors from firing. So I think the fuel pump was the issue. We fixed it, but then we didn't know we fixed it because we had a new problem, which was the thing being stuck in wide open throttle. We didn't even know. Expressway. We've got about 118 miles to go. So we're doing good. Cars seems fine. We've ran into like numerous freaking rainstorms. It'll rain for 10-20 minutes, real heavy downpour, and then it's okay. But with those single speed wipers, man, sometimes you can't even see. But anyway, we are we're gonna get some gas. We got a half tank. We're gonna fill up, and then that should be the last fill up, and hopefully we can just cruise the rest of the way. We got just under 2 hours. I think an hour and like 45-50 minutes. And yeah, we got to get some food, but we want to hurry, make the most of this daylight while we still can. All right, we made it to downtown Milford. We are literally about 5 minutes from my house. I actually just stopped out here to kind of get a picture of the car in front of this classic auto place. I just thought it looked cool. So yeah, we'll be home in just a minute and wrap this trip up, boys. What do you guys think? You guys pooped? Look, kids are all passed out. It's like 10:30 at night. You know your headlights suck when you're driving with the brights on and people don't even flash you. They're just like, dude, those aren't even like regular headlights. Those are your brights. Look at regular headlights. Oh, it's real sketch. 1965, baby. All right, look at this. We are pulling into P Acres. Oh, our 800 plus mile road trip in 4 days has been completed, baby. Woo, woo. Made it home. So what should have taken us 3.5 hours today took us about 13 hours. But you know, that's okay. We made it. Didn't have to get a hotel. None of that stuff, so we can't complain.
Just at least we made it.
At least we made it. All right, you guys, we made it.
I'm going in.
Oh, heck yeah, you're right. 10:30 at night. Let's go see Mom. Go see Stan. Oh, Death Card, I missed you, baby. We're here. This old girl got us back. Woo! 8 weeks ago, this thing was pretty much a POS. And you know, you could still call it a shit stang. But she drove 800 miles, did pretty good. We just had that little ground issue on that fuel pump, and otherwise it would have been good to go. So pretty stoked. All right, guys, so we're gonna end it here. We just wanted to get a few last words. So Pops, what would you think? You know, we've been trying to do this now for like 20 years. And finally put it together. Would you do it again?
Yeah.
What would you tell people if it's the first time doing Power Tour?
Get air conditioning.
Definitely air conditioning for sure. Get a Hellcat, because then you'll fit right in. Everyone had a Hellcat. It would be awesome. But, you know, we were really happy to do it, especially in a 65 Mustang.
Show Stanley.
I think it's just one of the most iconic muscle cars, pony cars, right? I mean, we must have talked to dozens and dozens of people. In fact, we would have got home about a half an hour earlier today if we didn't stop and talk to about 3 or 4 people. Every time you get gas, people stop you, want to talk and tell you about a story about, you know, their old 65 Mustang or somebody they knew had one. It's pretty awesome. So, yes, we're glad to be home. Finally, we made it after all this time. So we're going to end it here, guys. So anyway, thanks again for watching on this incredible journey. I'm glad we kicked this off the bucket list, and we're definitely going to be back at it again next year, either with this Mustang or maybe we'll actually take the Death Cart. And that's going to be it. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.